What's going on, guys? In this video we're testing the Bleed Powerstanced Estocs. We're also running High Poise and we're utilizing Bloodhound Step. Now I know a lot of people and a lot of you feel a certain way about Bloodhound Step, but this is just a showcase on what this build can do and the potential that something like this has. So mainly I've been on a Pyromancer build, and then over the last week or so I've been testing different weapons, testing different playstyles, and this build here is super effective. And with High Poise and the Powerstanced Estoc moveset, you can win almost any exchange, and with Bloodhound Step being utilized offensively, opponents have a really hard time getting away from you. Now, a little bit of what I'm doing here is, like I said, both Estocs are bleed. We are running the Bull Goat set, except for the mask, where we're using the mask that gives more damage when there's bleed in the vicinity. And then as far as talismans, we're running Bull Goats for more poise. And then we're running Tree +2, Crimson Medallion +2, and the Great Jar, the one that increases your equipment load. So pretty simple setup. And what I'm doing, I'm pre-buffing with Bestial Vitality for a little regeneration. We're running the Flame Grant Me Strength for a little more damage, and then Seppuku, I guess that's how you pronounce it, to infuse my left-handed weapon with even more bleed damage. So as you see in some of these clips, we'll look at this next clip here in more detail, but I'm trying to stay aggressive and right in my opponent's face, and just basically utilizing the power stance moveset of the Estocs. It's extremely fast. You can bleed somebody out very quickly, and then people start to panic, start to roll as the bleed starts going off, and you'll bleed somebody once, and then all of a sudden they're about to be bled again because of how fast this moveset is. Defensively, Bloodhound Step allows you to dodge a lot of things, along with medium rolling is enough defense to avoid most things. So basically it's just you getting your timing right and getting your spacing right. And with this setup, it's I found mostly I'm chasing people down because they're rolling away and they can't deal with the pressure. And I know, I mean, really this is my first true bleed build. I messed around with a little bit of the Rivers of Blood a few days ago, and I did not like it nowhere near as good as the power stancing of the bleed Estocs. And I know there's a lot of good bleed weapons and a lot of different things you can do with bleed, and why people fuss about it. But as you see here, it's really effective, and I've been looking for some weapons to power stance, and I wanted something simple, something that I could put Bloodhound Step on, and mainly just be a melee type character that does an extreme amount of pressure to your opponents. So in this match, this guy looks like he has the Bloody Helix. Now that weapon is very good, especially if you have a decent shield and you're utilizing the spear thrusting talisman that gives a lot of counter damage, and you're also using a weapon art that gives iframes and where he spins back like that right there. So you can see he did a lot of damage. So my strategy here is to try to avoid that as much as possible and stay close to him, because once you get to around a mid-range like that, around a mid-range location with a Bloody Helix user, they usually do that special weapon art and come back and do 800 to 1,000, or if not more, damage with a counter thrust. This time we're fighting, it looks like a guy that has some fire magic. Not too worried. As long as I can get close to him, I should be able to bleed him out pretty quickly. I don't know exactly what his strategy there was. You cannot stand in front of a setup like this and expect to not die. So this guy's got some kind of big great hammer. Not exactly sure what that is, but as you see there, the aggression of the Powerstanced Estocs is insane. So if I didn't have bleed on it, you could run something else like cold or whatever you'd want to do. I thought bleed would be best to try first. And this setup is even really good against mages because you get right in their face. Now, I will tell you that I have fought a setup like this and I was able to parry the Estocs, and you have to be careful when you're spamming the moveset. Like if they're two-handed something, you don't have to worry about it. If they're, you know, using magic or whatever. But if they have a shield in their hand, just be careful with spamming your L1 or whatever it is on your controller, because you can get parried. But don't run into many of those guys, and if you play really careful when you see that, you won't have any issues. So this guy looks like a similar build to me. He's running a bleed setup as well, but he does some pretty significant damage to me, but I just happen to out-damage him in the end. So that's about the end of this video, guys. Please comment, subscribe below. If you want to see more content, let me know what weapon or style you want to see in the next showcase.